have risen from the ashes to school the masses. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Scholars of Wrestling, the weekend after Extreme Rules. Yes, it was an awesome pay-per-view.
I was not in attendance.
And you missed out. It was
I know
awesome.
I did.
And if you don't know it by now, I am Tarek, alongside always Brian and Jeff.
Howdy, I'm Jeff.
We're masters of something, we don't know what.
We're masters of
I'll
ourselves.
fight you for the title of Master of Douchery later, but for right now, let's talk about Extreme Rules.
Yes, let's talk about Extreme Rules and the experience of it alone. I'm just gonna say, get it right out the bat. Brian can agree on this. The experience of being there at Extreme Rules is an automatic goat face. 5 out of 5 for the win.
Drunks for the win.
Yeah, really. I'm glad you guys were there to see it live. Even just watching at home, I can also say, Brian, I know this was your first experience at a live event. You picked a damn good one to choose for your first time out. I was expecting this to be an average pay-per-view, but even watching it at home, this pay-per-view was actually very, very solid.
When we first walk in and they're setting up the WLC match, and they're bringing in the midget announcers, they're bringing in the midget referees, and they're bringing in the midget timekeepers and announcers and all that.
Even before the announcers came out, I'm just like, is that a mini announcers table? Someone has to go through that in this match.
And when the WLC match, is one of the high points of the card, the experience itself was a goat face, yes. Even though I was dealing with drunks. But
that's part of the rest. That's what you get.
But you know what? That's okay. Dealing with drunks is fun. Dealing with drunks at an event is perfectly fine. Okay. But watch it. But of course, able to actually review the show objectively, I have to go home and rewatch it, because if I would just come on here and say, oh, guess what? Rusev versus the handicap match, 5 out of 5. That's it. But
I wouldn't go that far.
Now but I went home and rewatched, so you're gonna get an objective opinion out of me, and I'm not going high on this pay-per-view at all.
We'll say that for when we give our final thoughts on the pay-per-view. Experience was awesome. The tailgating beforehand, amazing. Amazing. And when you're holding up your buddy because he can't stand straight anymore, and when there's a flaming table. When there's a flaming table involved, and you're like, okay, buddy, we're gonna stand up now. And, great time. First experience flaming tables at a midget ladder match. You couldn't ask for a better first pay-per-view event, or hell, first wrestling event to go to than having.
It's like WrestleMania or Royal Rumble or some big.
See, I don't.
One. But even that's not
the problem with WrestleMania is you don't get that close experience.
You don't get that stadium
because you're in a stadium.
Yeah.
So it's
not
like
for you.
I don't.
Yeah, not for you. You were at the Garden at 20.
I'm like, yes, I got spoiled.
I'd rather not go to WrestleMania. I'd rather not. Unless it's at MSG.
Yeah, that does make sense.
Never gonna happen.
I don't want.
Sadly.
I didn't want to go. Everyone's like, you got to go to MetLife Stadium for WrestleMania, and I'm like, why? I'm not gonna be able to. Knowing me, and my eye issues, I'm not gonna be able to see crap. I'm not gonna be able to see anything.
Well, I went to WrestleMania at MetLife. I have good eye vision. Sorry, Brian. So it was a great experience for me. And the real reason that I would go to WrestleMania, other than, it's WrestleMania, is because I have a whole plan of wanting to go to the top 4 pay-per-views, which is WrestleMania, Royal Rumble, SummerSlam, and Survivor Series, and I'm halfway there already.
Well, Royal Rumble's in Philadelphia.
We're going.
this
That's
year.
the plan.
Scholars road
Sold.
trip.
Scholars road trip next year. Let's go.
But we're
there.
jumping a little too far ahead. Let's
Yeah,
get back to
We're
right
only
now.
in April. Let's go. May.
The DeLorean's out right now, being repaired. So let's stick to right now and this time.
Live in the now.
Live in the now. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Let's get to Extreme Rules, and we sort of brought it up. The pre-show, which, in my opinion, was my second favorite match on the entire card. Everything was just going crazy. Just starting, like what Brian said, starting with the mini announcers coming out. Let's see, what was it? Jerry... Oh, what was their name?
Jerry Smaller.
Jerry Smaller or something like that.
Jerry Smaller.
Minnie Cole.
At that point, I didn't really care about their names. I was just like, there's midget announcers. Yes.
Midget announcers, midget referees, midget timekeeper. It was so much fun. Like, mini tables, mini chairs.
This match was
starting off with a mini ladder, going to one of the huge ladders in normal TLC matches. It was out of control. Heath Slater going through, what was it, 6 tables? 6 mini tables?
That was Jinder Mahal, wasn't it? I know that Jinder Mahal and Los Matadores went through
The ladders.
Went through a group of tables with ladders on top of them.
But Heath Slater went through 6
and then
mini tables.
Drew McIntyre does something I've never seen him do before. Tries a flip on me over the top rope and just bombs, crashes and burns through a table.
Yeah, I'm just looking at the results here. This match was timed out to a solid 10 minutes and 53 seconds.
And it was 10 minutes and 53 seconds of awesomeness.
Yeah, this was I don't know how it was for you guys, but this match was really, really surprisingly good.
It got This Is Awesome chants, and it deserved every single one of them.
It got a This Is Awesome chant with just the announcers coming out, with just the referees coming out. It was already This Is Awesome. Then they came out and did some couple of things. This is awesome. Then people started going through tables and ladders. This is awesome. I'm like, okay, if this is like this, the rest on the actual card, we got nothing to worry about. Because, oh man, I was on my feet. Oh, that was so much fun.
This could have gone so wrong.
Oh yeah, yeah.
But the fact that it was actually on the other end of the spectrum, I'm gonna go big. I can't give it a goat face, but I'm gonna go a full beard for a WLC match. For a midget ladder match, I am actually gonna go full beard, 4 out of 5. And going into this, I never thought I would say that at all. I was like, this is gonna be lucky if this gets a 2 out of 5.
Well, for me, I actually have to go one step further and say it's a goat face, just because I wasn't expecting anything huge from this match. I mean, we talked about it last week, saying that these guys know how to wrestle and it actually will be fun. But just how everyone got involved, carnage was everywhere. I had so much fun. I'm like, okay, this is the way you start the show. This is a pre-show done right, and it was with a comedy bit. That's the best part. It was with a comedy. It's with a comedy group, comedy feud. I was sold. I was like, there you go. And the next night on Raw, they find some way to kind of shoehorn to continue the feud in. Just like, oh, we're celebrating Cinco de Mayo, yay! But the fans really don't care. 3MB comes out, hey, we want to make peace. Oh, this isn't a choice. We want you to take our peace offering. Oh, El Torito, here's the candy. Oh, thank you. No. Keep going.
Back to business as usual, which means back to regular old BS.
Yeah.
I think one thing that really killed it on the next night on Raw, and I'm not even just saying this for this feud, I meant the entire show, the fans weren't really into it.
Yeah, I was going to say that.
The fans weren't really there. I mean, this is like one of people's on their top 3 favorite matches on the whole card, and people are just like, okay, we don't care.
Yeah, well, to be fair, the Monday Night Raw crowd after the pay-per-view, that was a very, very bad crowd. So I don't think you can really blame the performances and appearances.
And the one at SmackDown wasn't any better.
Yeah, you can't really judge the performances of the talent on the card by those crowds. Those are just bad crowds. You can't judge them on their reaction.
So shame on you, Albany, because that's where Raw was.
But still, it wasn't anything special.
Oh yeah,
it was just after the WLC match. You're thinking maybe this could go somewhere good, and then it's back to comedy, back to regular old 3MB versus Los Matadores. And it's just like, oh, okay.
Oh, they're still going with this? Okay.
We can.
I would like to see them expand it a little more and throw in a couple of more midget wrestlers, kind of insulting them, and then all of a sudden they form an alliance to take on, like,
basically the return of the juniors division.
Yes. In a way, yeah, but not like to full extent. Just like, oh, that they're there.
Yeah.
Like, you just see a midget Kali. This will be Kali's official.
A midget Kali.
A midget Kali.
Isn't that an oxymoron? Shh. It's an oxymoron. Yeah. But really, as far as... I have a real hard time trying to... If I had to put a rating on the actual pay-per-view match itself, sure, we went right back into the regular flotsam with, 3MB and Los Matadores. I've come to expect that. Most of the appeal for me of this match was the fact that we got such a good match out of this when it should, for all intents and purposes, be kind of crappy. That said, even though it was very good for the low standards that we had for it, I gotta put it lower than you guys. I gotta give it a 3 out of 5. I gotta give it a goatee. It was good. It was way better than I expected, but I just didn't think it was that good. It was definitely eclipsed by some of the other matches we'd see on the card. But for what it was rock freaking solid. It was great.
I guess it's just different that you weren't there, because just seeing everything happen...
It was the world's greatest appetizer. That's the best way I can put it.
The best appetizer that when they introduced the pre-show.
Yeah. Again, probably way different if you were there live, but even when you weren't, it was still a pleasant surprise.
The world's greatest buffalo wings, waiting for that steak to come.
Yeah,
there you go. And now let's get on to the actual card, which opened with Cesaro versus Swagger versus RVD in an announced triple threat elimination match, which caught me completely off guard, caught everybody off guard. Just like, it's now an elimination match. Really? Okay. All right, let's see. Obviously, Swagger's going to be the first one out. Yeah, because no one cares about Swagger.
Yeah, and if you've seen the latest episode of Botchamania this week, or one of the latest, you've released 2 this week, it looked like there might have been a botch with the finish, where there was an elimination where there shouldn't have been, and it was just a big old mess. But,
I know what you're talking about, where it looked like the referee hit the 3, and they just, no, 2. Like, really? No, I think and even the audience knew, and it's like, I yelled, "Get with the program, ref! Do your job!"
It was Lil Nate, wasn't it? The referee was Lil Nate, wasn't it?
I don't know who the referee was.
You're good, buddy.
No, it wasn't Charles Robinson. No. Was it?
He doesn't do curtain jerking matches.
Was it Mike?
That I know of. No. And neither does Mike Chioda, so stop it. But what bothers me about this match, okay, is garbage cans are generally unsafe to use because they're made of sheet metal, okay, and they're so easy to break, okay. So during that whole stretch where they bought out the trash can, I was like, okay, someone's gonna get busted open hard way. Something's gonna happen, and the match itself, I think, with the talent involved, could have been a lot better. It was good,
but not to the standard that I'm used to of at least Rob Van Dam
and Cesaro. Yeah.
Swagger can do good matches every now and then. But this was a regular Swagger performance. And I have to drop it another score because of the botch where Rob Van Dam busted his face. Because it was the trash can, whatever it was used for before, the trash can was broken.
Yeah.
Okay. And which really makes it a good thing that he didn't land land stomach first like he was supposed to. Because he was supposed to land the frog splash straight, the ribs, the chest, the stomach. No, he landed on his face. and busted his eye open. So I am gonna give this match. I'll be nice. I'll give it a goatee. I'll give it a 3 out of 5. I'll give it a goatee. It was
nothing special.
It was nothing special. It was there. It was a good 12 minutes of action. I liked that Cesaro got over on RVD. Just it was sloppy and not as good as what I expect from at least 2 of the 3 superstars in the match.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this one was just okay. Occasionally you'll get sort of a rough match, even between the greatest of wrestlers. And I think for these 3, it was that sort of match. Again, given the unexpected awesomeness of the pre-show, of all things, this match, I think it had a little bit of leeway to be not quite as good. But it was still okay. I really can't give this match any greater than a 2 out of 5, just for what it is and how it turned out. I know these guys can put on way better matches. This was not it.
I agree. I think one thing that definitely hurt this match going into the show is the fact that it was thrown together so last minute. Well, at least with Swagger and Cesaro, it had a few going into it, but they already had their one-on-one match on Raw. Or on a Raw. I don't know which Raw it was. So, and then they started throwing in RVD because he had history with Paul Heyman. Zeb Coulter tried to recruit him to the Real Americans. RVD said no, so Swagger comes out and Cesaro comes out. They cost RVD the Intercontinental title match. So it was all just thrown together. There was no real long history building up for this. So it just took... So it was just pretty much a filler for all 3 of these guys because they had no real storyline going into this card.
It gave them a pay-per-view payoff.
Exactly.
At the end.
It gave them a pay-per-view payoff, and the match itself, it was fun. It was mainly just filled with their signature moves. Mm-hmm. Cesaro doing that awesome superplex, which led to an RVD frog splash. That was the highlight of that match. And continuing on, yes, RVD tried to put already smashed trash can on Cesaro and tried to do a 5-star frog splash. Cesaro took the trash can, pushed it aside, and rolled out of the way, which had RVD land face first into that trash can. And just seeing it, you could either on TV or live, you saw RVD's face hitting some sharp edge on that trash can, and you just see him, oh god, my face. Neutralizer for the win. Good for Cesaro. This is good, keeping him having the credibility of being a Paul Heyman guy, rising back up. Yay! But it was just a normal match, so I'm just going to give it the normal rating. Classic goatee, 3 out of 5. Nothing more to say than good job. It was a good match. Nothing special came out of it. Nothing happened on Raw the next night. Swagger and Zeb Coulter were just there for Adam Rose to debut, which got chuckles out of me and me dancing around too.
I was going to say, you're all rosebuds, aren't you?
I'm definitely not 11. I'm definitely not 11.
I am not a rosebud. I am not a rosebud.
I think
there's too many of these characters around right now.
I think
you got the Fandango. Okay, we already had the tons of funk and the funkadactyls. I don't need another dancing douche. Okay, that's it.
I've got no problem with Adam Rose so far. The only problem I could even complain about, Adam, you gotta lose the lollipop. It's just you can prance around all you want. You can have it be potty time all the time. The rose blah blah blah, but just lose the. You look like a raver when you do that. Take rid of that. You look like a wrestler who can give me a world class whooping. But please just lose the lollipop and you're all right. And then you'll have a field full of rosebuds. I guess that's a euphemism that works.
I guess the one thing that sold me, didn't sell me. The one thing that I got a big complaint. There you go. Out of his debut is I wanted a match. I'm sick of these guys just showing up and just having a little promo. I want to see these guys in action because Damien Sandow didn't have a match when he first appeared. Not Wade Barrett.
Yeah, it was on NXT.
Yeah. I can't think of the names off the top of my head right now.
They're wrestlers. You want to see them wrestle.
Yeah, exactly. They're wrestlers. I want to see them wrestle. I wanted to see just a quick match just to see what this guy can do because I haven't watched NXT yet, sadly. I don't know. I know of them. I know the superstars in it. I just haven't seen matches. So I'm just not sold on any of these NXT guys that they're promoting other than just like, oh, these are just guys that they're planning on bringing up.
Yeah, I had to actually dig up an NXT match for Adam Rose. I was a little confused when he switched his gimmick from Leo Kruger, which I thought that was a pretty cool name. But still, I can see this guy basically filling the Fandango role now. I'm not sure how far he'll go, but he's certainly not bad. I mean, even from what we were talking about with the crowd the next night on Raw, they were pretty much dead on arrival for most of the night. The fact that you can actually hear people singing along to his theme song.
It's a catchy theme.
Yeah, and the fact that you got a dead crowd to even lighten up just a little bit, that might be saying something about the longevity of Adam Rose. And
as for the lollipop, when you have Michelle, my wife, just go, did they just reintroduce Rico? And I was like, okay, the fact that you said that made me love you even more, because it's like, okay, I can see where you're going with that, because it definitely does seem a little awkward, just how he's like, he's kind of looking and like having his shoulder and tilting his head to his shoulder, and it was very awkward.
I will say this, okay, I've seen the guy on NXT. He's a good wrestler. I've had enough of the gimmick. The dancing gimmick. I've had enough of the party dancing gimmick. I don't need to see it anymore. I like the wrestler. Hate the gimmick.
Then I've got a feeling the next couple months are going to be really, really long for you.
Because it looks like that's where Jack Swagger's going to, at least when it comes to
it's
the feud.
Fast forward. Because I don't watch Raw when it airs, so fast forward.
You are not the doctor. You do not have the capacity to do that.
And
I do.
Okay, Adam Rose is making us all very angry, apparently. So let's go on to they're going to have a feud with him and Jack Swagger.
But I'm not a lemon. I'm not. I'm a Rose.
He's having a feud with Jack Swagger, so what does it even matter at this point?
From what it's looking like, they're going to continue a feud with RVD and Cesaro, with them having a one-on-one match and Cesaro ending it with disqualification when he refused to stop elbowing RVD the back of his head.
I have no problems with this development at all.
Either they're going to keep this feud alive, or this is just a way for them to take RVD off TV, to be like, okay, you did your little time that you wanted to do, and we'll see you when you want to come back. Who knows? We have to find out tomorrow. Oh, no, Saturday. We have to find out Monday if RVD is planning on sticking around a little longer. But back to the pay-per-view match. Nothing special. 2, 3, 3. moving.
It was very.
And now let's get on to a match that'll probably even rank a little lower.
Lana.
Lana introducing Alexander. No. They dropped his first name now.
Rusev.
Just Rusev.
Crush.
Rusev completely dominating R-Truth and Xavier Woods.
Basically doing exactly what we said.
What we
he
talked
was
about
gonna
last
do.
week. Not even 3-minute match.
Yeah. Meanwhile, I'm just looking at the time here. It said 2 minutes and 53 seconds is the exact timeout.
Not even 3 minutes.
I give this. There's not much to say about this match at all, except the beatdown was very impressive. But this gets a peach fuzz only for 2 reasons. Okay, it advanced Rusev's storyline. Okay, and Lana's legs. And
Okay,
Lana, just
one
Lana,
of those
just
I predicted.
Just Lana, just Lana in general. Okay, there's a reason why the Jersey crowd started that "We Want Lana" chant. Okay,
We all want Lana.
just this, it was there. It was the definition of a match that was there. That's it.
Yeah, really, I was way more. Seriously, Lana's legs aside, that promo was. It was actually hilarious what she ended up doing with it, incorporating Vladimir Putin into this. That was brilliant. That was like classic heel move. And when you see, let's face it, I'm sure you guys would agree with me. Normally, when you see a woman who looks like Lana on WWE TV, you don't really expect much from her because WWE doesn't expect much from her, so they don't give her much to do. The fact that we got 100% good old school healing from Lana right here, hotness aside, I was legitimately impressed with her. Lana is fun as well as attractive. And pair her up with Rusev, who is like
a beast,
a big beefy land monster.
He's very
actually
ginormous.
Legitimately good. I like these two together. It's like, hi, chocolate meet peanut butter. It's good.
Apparently,
Who's the chocolate?
Apparently,
of that
Jeff.
group?
Apparently, Jeff.
Whichever I want.
Apparently, Jeff. Okay, your dreams are crushed because apparently Rusev and Lana are a item in real life.
I don't care.
Rusev crushes Lana in the back.
I don't care. I can take him.
Okay.
We'll
I
see.
don't care.
The return of Robbie Rage.
Who? Yeah, that didn't happen. No, that's
Sure, it did.
Yeah,
that. Anyway, for what this
Thank you, Joseph Parks.
for what this match was, I have to give it a good solid 3 out of 5. Standard goatee, just mostly for brevity being the soul of all the good things, and Lana's legs and promo ability, and I like Rusev as a whole. It's short, sweet, and to the point. It was good.
I got really nothing out of this match. I really didn't. Lana, she's beautiful, but I'm happily married. So
Well, good. So you don't have to fight Rusev then.
yeah,
Good
I don't have to fight Rusev for that.
I'm content.
Her promo is the selling point of that whole segment between all 4 of these people. So it wasn't enough. I really wasn't intrigued. I just listened to what she said. I'm just like, haha, cheap heat, Russia bad.
Russia bad.
Russia
good.
America good. And I'm just gonna give this a one clean shave because it just did nothing for me other than just thinking, I can't wait for the old school Raw just to see Nikolai Volkov actually show up and just have a little backstage segment between the two. And it just showed. I had to think of something that's going to possibly happen in the future than what's going on right now. So
just to get some enjoyment.
Just to get some enjoyment out of this whole thing.
For what this was, that's a fair assessment to make, though. It wasn't. It was just there. It was a break match.
It really made me sad knowing that should. I feel like that should have been the pre-show match because that would have been the appetizers. Like, okay, we got action, but nothing that will like settle our fill from what the pay-per-view is going to bring us. I feel other than what the we'll see. I'm like, this is like 4 appetizers given to me.
That's a lot of appetizers.
It was a lot of appetizers, and I was still hungry. Feed me more.
Well, I think...
Feed me Rice Krispie treats.
Well, come on, Bill.
Come on, Bill.
But in all seriousness, I think I'm really interested to hear what you think about this next match. That must have been better for you, wasn't it?
That was a great match. And if you don't know what we're talking about, then shame on you, because we're talking about Wade Barrett going against the Intercontinental Champion, Big E Langston, for that Intercontinental Championship.
I'm afraid I've got some bad news for Mr. Big E.
Oh, it was...
You are no longer Intercontinental Champion.
Yay.
That match, the match itself was actually very good. Those guys, didn't they work with each other back in like developmental stages?
I'm sure at some point.
I'm sure they did.
Yeah, I'm sure. So they know how to work with each other, and it definitely showed, because there really wasn't anything bad from this match. The crowd was all behind Wade Barrett, and rightfully so.
I can honestly say that he might have gotten the biggest pop of the night that had nothing to do with a yes chant.
I can see that.
Like opening pop, right when the music hits, I can honestly say that Barrett had a bigger reaction.
I believe it, given your crowd and just given the way Bad News Barrett has been received lately. Yeah. I can definitely see people just going nuts for Bad News Barrett in that crowd.
And
this was about 9 minutes of just two big men just beating the crap out of each other.
7 minutes and 55 seconds.
It was every second counted.
It was very smooth. It didn't see any botches that I
didn't see any either.
That it was just
yelling, "I'm afraid I've got some bad news," and everyone around me laughing. It's like, "Hey, you actually did that pretty well." It's not hard to say.
It was 8 minutes of goodness, but because it was short, I'm gonna go goatee. But it's filling in.
It's a goatee that's filling. Yeah,
it's filling in. I'll give it a 3.5.
I'll agree with you on that. It was a good, solid match. It was enjoyable. It took some wind out of its sails because I pretty much knew who was going to win going in. But it's more or less what I expected, and what we got was really good. More good stuff from both these guys. Unfortunately, it looks like Big E's star is starting to take a step back a little bit, but you know what? He's still very good. Everyone in this match is very good. The match itself, again, very good. It was just good. It was a good Intercontinental title match, and it did what it needed to do.
It definitely did. Made me feel very happy, showing just how, like you guys said, how smooth it was, how nothing bad really happened, and the crowd was certainly into it. And I wouldn't say Big E stars have completely burned out
yet.
I'm
not saying it's completely burned out. I think it's just starting to take one or two steps back. Like it was his time for a while, and now you can almost see, like, okay, Bad News Barrett is now starting to get the rub. The spotlight is going to be on him for a while. Maybe they'll go back and forth, have a little feud here and there. But for the most part, he's just not the flavor of the month anymore. Doesn't mean he's buried or anything like that, but it just means he's going to be taking 1 or 2 steps into the background, so someone else can step up into the foreground. In this case, it's Bad News Barrett.
Exactly. And I talked about this with someone on Facebook, saying that Wade Barrett winning the title is like the first step to revamping the prestige of the Intercontinental title, because of how much they were building on the tournament to determine the number one contender for it. And all Big E did, there you go, was just watch the match. And had his own little small matches. He had nothing to do with it. Everything that had to do with the Intercontinental Championship was put in the tournament, not with the champion. And I feel with Wade Barrett winning it, it's now like all the prestige that they want to rebuild for the Intercontinental Championship was now given with Wade Barrett, and all the negativity that throughout the years that the Intercontinental title has gotten is now ended with Big E. It's like a new dawn for the Intercontinental Championship, and I am very happy with it.
Yeah, that's one good thing I can definitely say about the Intercontinental title throughout the years. It's very clear that no matter what kind of condition it's in, the WWE still very much cares for it. Even when they first reintroduced the big white belt after Cody Rhodes won it, to the sort of dead period it went through for a while, but then they brought it back. And it seems like, I don't think the Intercontinental title is going to go anywhere for the foreseeable future. But this was, even though we all know it sort of went through a lull there, this was definitely the vehicle to bring it back, and I am actually legitimately happy for you, Fool.
And what proves to me that the WWE is behind the Intercontinental title coming back to its former glory is that now WWE.com actually has up like a history of the Intercontinental title. Mm-hmm. They just put it up this morning. So
they're really going somewhere.
They're really moving forward with this Intercontinental title. Is back to the second tier title,
which I'll get into later when we get to the big match that we want to talk about. I didn't give my rating. I'm gonna go just a half a step further than you, Brian. I'm gonna give this one a full beard because I had fun, not only because it was the Intercontinental title match, just because Wade Barrett and Big E had such a great match. I don't see Big E really leaving the Intercontinental title picture and anytime soon. He'll probably, like you said, step back for other people to come in, but he's definitely going to stay in that picture for a while. Mm-hmm. All right, now on to the last of the lower card, which is the...
I have a real hard time calling this a lower card match. This next one was just... I enjoyed this match.
Which you don't know is the Divas title match between Paige.
I was looking at something else.
Oh,
the Wikipedia results page.
Yeah, we're not
going to go. We started off following the card of the pay-per-view, but now we're just going to, I'll throw in the last lower card before we talk about the main events. Sorry, fool.
I was like, wait a minute. How can you call the Shield versus Evolution a lower card match? I was like, what?
Oh, please.
Okay, now I'm with you.
That's going to be the big one we save for later.
Oopsie. Never mind.
Now we're going to talk about Paige versus Tamina Snuka. Pretty good match.
Yeah.
This was good. I just don't agree with having Tamina tap out. I don't like the fact that I believe that Tamina Snuka is the biggest threat.
I do
to the title, and she's just gonna tap out in 6 minutes.
Was it a 6-minute match?
Let me pull it up here.
Look it up, fool.
Scroll. Close enough. 6 minutes, 18 seconds.
Not bad.
Yeah, I was just like, you're gonna have her tap. I have her get pinned with the what is it? The page cutter?
Page turner.
The page turner. Have her get pinned with that. You don't have someone as big as Tamina Snuka, which makes me think that they're not moving forward with anything for Tamina Snuka, because if they were, she wouldn't have tapped out.
My biggest thing of her tapping out, I wouldn't have mind so much if she tapped out, if she held on that submission hold a lot longer than just putting on the submission hold and automatically tapping out. If Tamina held on, let's say for a good 20 seconds before tapping out, just showing how she's willing to fight out, or maybe she put her in the hold, she fights out, and Paige just puts her right back in. And then another few seconds, and then she taps, then I would be like, okay, that makes sense. That it would keep Tamina in the long run. Ooh, excuse me, as a top contender. But yeah, just putting her in and then automatically tapping just didn't help. And it was a very good match. It was a good Divas match. Not nothing special. It was just two Divas who are very good. At least it's not anyone from the Total Divas scene. And I just got to give this one Peach Fuzz 2 stars because.
Yeah, I'm gonna push. I'm gonna go Peach Fuzz because it was good, but because of the brevity of the match and the fact that I did not like the finish at all, it doesn't get higher than a Peach Fuzz for me.
Yeah, really, as far as this match is concerned, my original opinion on this match has not changed at all. Last time when we were talking about this match, I said that the biggest problem with this match was the timing of it. It was way too soon for her for Paige, to face someone like Tamina. If they really wanted to brand Tamina as this big imposing power, this big threat, and Paige obviously is the hotshot newbie, they should have drawn this out a little bit more. This match could have been really, really rock solid. But, again, because of the timing of it, we were sort of limited in terms of what we could see out of these two. We couldn't see Paige, since it was so soon after she debuted on the main roster. We could not see her in a vulnerable position. We really could not, and because of that, we couldn't see Tamina put on any real solid show of force, which we know she's able to do, and that's really where she works best. Because of that, we really didn't see the match we should have out of these two ladies. These ladies are super good in every sense of the word. This just was not the right time for us to see them in action. Having said that, I will repeat what you said. I gotta go with a 2 out of 5. Gotta give this thing a Peach Fuzz. It was good. It was pretty much on par for what I expected as far as a Divas match goes. But knowing these two ladies, we could have seen a lot more.
We could have seen a lot more. Not even just a lot more. We should have seen something. Because from what I remember saying last week, there was no feud. They had no feud building up for this this match. The only thing that they had connecting towards them was she beat AJ for the Divas title the night after WrestleMania.
And that's a problem with the Divas division in general. There's never really a feud. It's just a series of matches leading into a big pay-per-view match, and there's never really a story involved unless it involves the Bellas.
But one of the Bellas is involved with another storyline, but we'll get to that a little later. I could just hear in the sound of you guys' voice, you're just not looking forward to talking about that particular topic. But let's get on. Let's get on to the main events. The main events, Jeff. We're actually going into it. There you go.
I know it's not the Silver Dome, brother.
There you go. Let's start with the cage match between Bray Wyatt and John Cena. I really wasn't a huge fan of this match.
Really?
The ending I loved. Don't get me wrong. I loved how it ended. But the match itself was just not. It wasn't interesting to me. It just was like, oh, John Cena's trying to escape quickly. But wait, there's Harper and Rowan making sure he doesn't escape. And just all it was just Cena taking down each Wyatt member so he can escape. And then you have the kid show up with the voice changer. He's got the whole world in his hand.
Okay, that was creepy. I like that part.
Like I said, I loved that.
Here's my problem with the match in general. This is the perfect way to describe this match. This is the WWE doing whatever it can to protect John Cena. Okay, there were I counted them. Okay, there were 16 times where John Cena could have, would have, should have won this match. 16.
Yes, I counted it too.
One to 3. Okay, I'll accept it. 16. It's out of control, man. And that was
how many times
there were. This match was 1-on-1. It was what, like a 25-minute match?
He's like, Jeff has
I'm
the times.
timekeeper guy. Let's see. Yeah, that was 21 minutes, 26 seconds.
Okay, and I can guarantee you that maybe 7 of those minutes were a one-on-one match.
I agree.
And now these two guys in a cage should have been done a whole lot better, in my opinion. The only reason I am giving it a classic OT is because the right guy won, and the storyline moving forward just gets creepier and creepier with that demonic kid. And so that's the only reason why it even gets that high. But this whole WWE protecting Cena thing, I'm over it. And if it was 1 to 3 times where John Cena could have, should have, would have won, but there were like 16 times where he's trying to get out of the cage, and there's Luke Harper, there's Eric Rowan, there's some kind of BS that causes John Cena to not be able to win this match, and that's out of control.
The one thing I really had problems with it is like not adding to what you said. It took him 16 attempts to try and escape. Is he kept managing to take down each member of the Wyatts, especially Bray. He's the one who kept getting knocked down the most. Where it's just like, wasn't he the guy who clean beat Daniel Bryan at the Royal Rumble? A guy who beat John Cena clean at SummerSlam? Where's the threat if you keep having John Cena take him out so easily that he could have those chances to escape, where he could easily won the match, and like 1 to 3 times, 5 times maybe I'll add, but just that where he just kept taking them out and they're not really posing any real threat to Cena until they threw in the deep voiced child.
I liken this to the discussion we were having in January when they retconned that Daniel Bryan joining the Wyatts.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and I said at that point that the Wyatt family looked weak at that time because of it. I think that the way this match was booked
repeats that.
I think it made him look worse than that whole thing did, because Bray Wyatt is running around saying that he's a god, and all this, and he's leading this cult, and he's supposed to be this monster of a man, and he's getting his entire family is getting taken out by one dude every time they fight. I come to expect this from Cena, but that doesn't mean that I have to like it.
Yeah, you pretty much nailed it right there. I mean, sure, I kind of expected some craziness with, Cena being Cena, for lack of more precise terms. But this, I think WWE Creative, as good as they've been lately, at least as far as Bray Wyatt is concerned, I think they're starting to show that, they're still WWE Creative. But the one saving grace I can say is that he's still being booked in a feud with John Cena. He's still a credible main event level threat. Interpret that however you will. But yeah, as far as this match goes, I gotta agree. Yeah, this was not the best executed match that these guys could have produced. Obviously this feud is going to keep on going, but they still could have produced something a little bit better here. Brian, for your sake, I'm glad Bray Wyatt won.
Oh,
yeah. If he didn't win, I
think he would have left. He would have just forget about Daniel Bryan.
If John Cena won, this was getting a clean shave, because holy crap, that would have been the highest of BS.
That wouldn't. It just wouldn't have worked.
16 times he doesn't win, and on the 17th try, when he hit that attitude adjustment and was just walking towards the door, I was like, if something doesn't happen, this is the worst BS imaginable. Because John Cena just beat the crap out of Bray Wyatt in this match. Just beat the crap out of the entire...
Bray Wyatt really didn't get a
family.
real good offense in this match, at least by himself. And what you said, Brian, about them making it look worse, I actually can say, like I was saying, it brought that back. And yes, it did make it worse, because the next night on Raw, you had the Wyatts face the Shield. And before, when the Shield and Wyatts fought, they were an even match. They were evenly matched. On Raw the next night, it made the Wyatts look weak again. They couldn't take out a newly faced, well, not newly faced, but a face Shield. I mean, when they faced them the first time, they were both like heel groups that everyone loved, and they put on a great match. I'm not saying they didn't put on a great match. It's just, in the end, it just made the Wyatts again look weak, and that was our big problem when they had that feud with Daniel Bryan. And at least in that feud, Bray Wyatt won the feud, because after their match at Royal Rumble, they split. Because they brought back the Authority versus Daniel Bryan, and they started throwing in Bray Wyatt versus Cena, which, since Bray Wyatt beat Daniel Bryan, made sense in the evolution of his character. Now, if you want the character of Bray Wyatt to really work, which they're obviously not going to do, knowing how the booking will be, I want Bray Wyatt to win this feud against Cena. Like, at Payback, I want them to reach the point where they beat Cena down again and actually beat him down to where, since now there's rumors going they wanted to give top guys time off, I could see them starting off with Cena, giving him the time off, and keep evolving Bray Wyatt's character to a point where he's now at championship level, and at the point where Cena has to come back, destroying the evil of Bray Wyatt, have them fight for the championship.
And here, I'm going to leave off with this little note to the WWE creative team. John Cena does not need to be protected. He's there. He's always going to have his spot, okay? What he's got right now is the John Cena spot. Lay off on
he has
on the
nothing
protection.
left to prove.
He doesn't need the amount of protection he got in this match, okay? This match was out of control.
Yeah, John Cena has nothing left to prove, so he doesn't need protection because he's already established as a big star. He will be that big star for the rest of his life. He's with Triple H on almost topping Ric Flair's 16-time World Championship holds. You got it's nothing. He will be fine. He will lose for the rest of his career, putting young guys over, and he will be perfectly fine.
He could be the new Chris Jericho spot, and he wouldn't lose anything.
He wouldn't. He really wouldn't. Did you give your rating on the match?
No, I did not, and really, it kind of pains me to say this, but the match was not very good. I gotta give it a 2 out of 5. This match was...
The saving grace of this match was the end.
Yeah, exactly.
It really was. And just seeing the Wyatts come out live, literally all the lights are off. Just the lantern was on. Everything else was off. Everyone had their cell phones on flashlights. That was awesome. But I'm actually going to have to side with you, Jeff, and I'm going to have to give this a peach fuzz too. The match just was not good for me, other than the final minute. It just hurt. It hurts to say it, because as much as we love Bray Wyatt, and at least they're keeping this feud going, and Bray Wyatt's still doing his great promos like he did on the next night on Raw, calling himself a god, and then Cena coming on main event for the first time saying, okay, Bray Wyatt is this monster. And people are actually starting to believe him. People can believe whatever they want, but he's still going to trust his morals. He's still going to be the never give up guy. Typical John Cena promo, as what he's been throughout his entire career. But at least in this case, it fits with the storyline.
Yeah, in the feud, the promos are not the problem. at this point.
It's just the booking.
It's the matches because apparently John Cena needs to be protected.
Well, not even like really. It was just the booking of that match, of the Extreme Rules match. The WrestleMania match was really good because it actually did make Bray Wyatt a credible foe against Cena. Extreme Rules didn't.
Yeah, not at all.
So I have to give it a peach fuzz too, and that's like on the graces. This is a low peach fuzz on the bridge of clean shaven. It actually angered me that much of how, like Brian said, they wanted to protect Cena, which they don't need to anymore. The child at the end saved it for me.
And here I thought you guys were going to give me a hard time for rating it as low as I did. At
No.
least I'm not the only one.
It hurt. It really hurts to say it.
But hey, at least you guys got to see Bray Wyatt live. That's the important thing.
The spot of the match, though, was when Cena and Rowan were on the top of the cage, and Cena grabbed his beard and just slammed him multiple times into the cage. I was like, all right,
That was
I'll
funny.
give you that one.
That was funny.
Yeah, that was good.
That was pretty cute. Pretty cute.
All right, since this closed the show, but we still have the rivalry between Evolution and The Shield as a higher ranking because, let's really face it, it is a higher ranking
It's the
feud.
better story.
It's the better story, the better ranked feud. So we're just going to go and throw in the main event with Daniel Bryan versus Kane for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship in an Extreme Rules match. And story purposes, it was a fun match. I actually had fun watching this match. Like how the match continued on backstage, and it brought in a forklift, which has been done already, but it was just funny seeing it again because
It's been done already, but not recently.
yeah, I mean the last one was
so it did feel fresh.
Yeah, exactly. This, again, I know that they did the spot before, but this was the exact time they needed to bring it out again.
yeah.
Because really, I honestly
can't lift Kane.
Yeah. Honestly, I was not expecting. I'm sorry. Let me finish. I was not.
Excuse me.
Yeah, getting all Kanye over here. But this, I'm sorry. I gotta say, this match I did not expect to see very much from. I was expecting it to be, a regular match. You do your things, Brian, Kane, whatever, and then we're getting the forklift spots and flaming tables, and I got more out of this match than I really expected.
Oh yeah.
I hope it was the same way for you guys.
The
That must
first,
have been fun live.
Yeah, the first half of the match was typical Extreme Rules fare. Daniel Bryan with the kendo stick shots to the shoulders and all that.
I had to make sure.
And Kane being Kane, and once they got into the backstage area, all right, that it picked up and.
Picked up big time.
It became my second favorite match of the night. I'm gonna go full beard because of the backstage fight, the forklift, and the flaming table.
Yeah.
Okay, I can't go goat face because the first half of the match was kind of but the second half picked it up so much and was so enjoyable that I'm gonna go big. I'm gonna go full beard.
Yeah, I have a hard time giving this anything below a full beard. This match this pay-per-view as a whole had some seriously subpar matches. Some good spots here and there, but for the most part, this pay-per-view needed more higher pay-per-view quality matches. And that's something we really needed, and we got it here. Again, this match was very, very good all around, and I cannot give this anything lower than 4 out of 5 full beard.
The spots definitely helped save. Okay.
Side jokes on outside the recording area.
Yeah, but back to the match. Yes, it was a very good match. It was they helped. These guys worked with each other before, and I made sure of that by yelling out the Dr. Shelby chant. Hopefully that made it to the
I don't know. I'm
the
gonna
show.
have to see the
I
recording
heard
again.
you and we got in on it, even though we were 2 sections down. We heard you and we got in on it. So
Oh yeah,
if there were
at
any-
first I was just going, Dr. Shelby, and then when I tried to do it the second time, Dr. Shelby, I was chewing gum and it went down my throat. I'm like, Dr. Shelby.
Oh, no
And
wonder
then-
I didn't hear it.
And then people actually started like chanting with me. So
Hug it out. Hug
and once
it
people
out.
and once people started going, I'm like, okay, I'm good. Dr. Shelby. And then literally
And
a
then
second after that was hug it out, hug it
And
out.
then the flaming tables came up, and that
And then we're
stopped
just- and then
real
we were
quick.
just like-
they were like, no, put him through the table, put him through the table.
Well, those chants were at the beginning of the match. I made sure that I started the Dr. Shelby chant like once they started the match, but when they had a pause in that match, I'd be like, okay, when did they stop? Okay, Dr. Shelby.
But yeah, definitely better than I was expecting.
Yeah, it was definitely better. The forklift it brought back old school memories. I loved it. Bringing out the forklift and pouring Kane back in the ring. The flaming table. Once Kane put that set that table up, the apron was still up, and I'm looking. I'm like, is that a thing of gasoline? Oh my god! Light that thing on fire! Yes! Oh my god! It's on fire! And of course, Kane. Whenever it has something to do with fire, Kane is the one to be set on fire in the end.
He's just waiting behind in the gorilla position backstage, like, did someone say fire?
I mean,
That's Kane.
the first Inferno match with Kane and Taker, Kane's the one that got set on fire.
But that guy with the fire extinguisher was out of control.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
I saw the playback. That guy jumped on there.
yeah.
like,
As soon as he landed in, no time react. It's like crash.
I think Kane was more hurt by the fire extinguisher than the actual flaming
it
table.
looked like it.
And running knee for the win. That's the thing I was talking about last week. It had to be more than just a single knee to the face. It was being driven through a fire table and then knee to the face that took King down.
And also all the crap before that. The what's it called?
What?
The forklift. The
forklift,
The
yeah.
forklift, the headbutt off the forklift.
What was he?
That was all.
When Kane picked up that giant like air pump and threw it at the car and it went through the windshield.
That was
Was
glorious.
awesome.
I was like,
Yeah,
this.
wow.
I'm getting Attitude Era jollies right now. The only thing missing is blood, but we didn't need it.
No, not at all, because it was Kane being old school Kane that we all wanted to see Kane for a long time, and it really works.
And we had angry Daniel Bryan, which suddenly disappeared
Yes.
on Monday Night Raw.
Yeah.
and turned into,
We got a monster
and
match.
turned into scared, running away for their lives. Brie with the worst acting ever.
That was terrible. Brie, I'm sure you're a very sweet lady. Brian, I'm sure she makes a great wife. But that segment on Raw was bad.
WWE creative being WWE creative.
And
Yeah, there we go.
people are saying that this whole feud with Daniel Bryan and Kane is actually hurting his title run. I don't think
No,
it is.
That's good. Yeah,
I don't
that's
think
right.
it is.
Here's the thing, okay? Just the transition from Extreme Rules to Raw, what we saw, Raw hurt his title reign.
I don't think it hurt his title
I
reign.
think
It just hurt the storyline.
I
in
honestly
this.
think it hurt his title reign because you're making your champion, who was so pissed off the night before that he just came and beat the crap out of Kane. Now he's running. Your face champion is running for his life.
Granted,
I think that even though it's Kane, it still hurt. It hurts your champion. It hurts your champion to be that afraid of your challenger.
I don't-
have a real hard... I'm sorry, you go ahead first.
I was going to say, it really is not Daniel Bryan running away from Kane. It's Daniel Bryan keeping Brie Bella away from Kane. That's the thing. Brie Bella and Stephanie have to get out of this feud. Stephanie, I understand what she's doing, like why she's there, but her trying to be I can't control Kane. I said this, it was going to be like this from the beginning, but I didn't expect it to be like this badly executed, to a point where Kane and Daniel Bryan have worked with each other before, even before the anger management promos when they were the thing that set them up for it. And they had good matches and had a great feud. They don't need Stephanie and Brie Bella as much as they're being thrown in. Just all they need to do is just have Daniel Bryan and Kane work just them, and it would be best. All the other top guys are working in different feuds, so it makes sense for having to be Kane because that's their next big name to go for the title. And I'm okay with it. Kane is a legit threat. He is a former champion, even though it's one night, but he had a good World Heavyweight title run with Taker. There's nothing that really has me worried about the feud. It's just who's in the feud. Brie Bella and Stephanie is what's hurting the feud. Is it hurting Daniel Bryan's title reign? Me? No, I don't think it is.
Because my thought process is if the people in your feud, in your WWE World Heavyweight Championship feud, are hurting said feud, if the feud is bad, if the feud is not well received, then all Daniel Bryan has done is face Kane. So therefore, if this storyline is bad because of the people in it, it hurts
the two people that are in it.
It hurts the two people who are actually fighting in the feud, which makes this is his first championship feud after winning. So it hurts the championship run because the first storyline that you have is being ruined by two people who can't act.
I have a real, just going back to the other thing you said for a moment, I have a real hard time really hating this feud just because it seems like it's on the immediate, for one thing, it's on the immediate aftermath of a huge WrestleMania moment. And really, when you get a moment that huge, everything else is just going to look like poopy in comparison.
Poopy.
Yeah, exactly, poopy. Now, when you say things like this makes Daniel Bryan look bad and that kind of thing, I question whether or not we saw the same thing. Mostly because, again, I get where you're coming from here, but I don't see it as Daniel Bryan running away from Kane per se. What I saw was Daniel Bryan trying to protect his wife from a big red scary land monster
who's afraid to not go attack the wife, seeing past feuds, Edge, Lita.
Yeah, that was
Shane
just
McMahon.
Sort of,
Come on, he crappily tombstone Linda McMahon, set Jim Ross on fire. He's not afraid to go dirty.
Yeah, so that's all I see. Even though this feud, as it's been portrayed, obviously it's not the best in the world, but to me, I wasn't expecting much from Daniel Bryan after WrestleMania, just because the hype has nowhere to go from here. But from what we saw at the Extreme Rules, this match was as good as it gets. I really enjoyed this match for what we got. Of course, we're probably not going to get all classics out of this feud, but it's still okay for what it is.
Yeah, the match at Extreme Rules was good, and I'm not saying anything bad about the feud before Extreme Rules. My whole thought process is that Daniel Bryan was so pissed off at Extreme Rules, literally just beats the crap out of Kane. Yeah, protecting your wife is the big deal.
Damn right it
is.
is.
It's also, but if you're that pissed off, okay, it was early enough in the show that Daniel Bryan could have come back.
Yeah.
And then just took it. They have a big brawl in the back, and the feud's back on track. Brie Bella's out of the picture. They get into a big brawl in the back. I think they could have done that. I think they could have done the Raw after better. In my eyes, the way for the storyline to continue is, yeah, it's great and all. Get your wife out of there. Maybe have a car ready, have like a driver, and get her in the car.
So silly.
Get her in the car, get her out of there, and then turn around and bring a weapon back from the night before or whatever. Have your kendo stick ready and just go after Kane.
Well, if he was booked in a match, I would understand that. but he wasn't booked. That ended the whole thing. Kane wasn't involved with anything else after that. So that's a good thing.
I thought that was dumb.
I would have loved to have seen that Daniel Bryan come back to keep this feud interesting. Imagine if they go as far as kind of rehashing The Undertaker trying to marry Stephanie McMahon and Austin making the save. Have, like, Kane abduct... Well, this is supposed to be a personal feud because he's throwing in Brie Bella. The one factor that hurts it is Brie Bella because she can't act.
Yeah,
she can't act her way out of a wet paper bag. Because I can see potential in having it be personal because, one thing, these guys have worked with each other before. They know who each other are, which is another thing I wish they really add on to the fact that these guys have worked with each other before. They're just talking about it like nothing. It's not even being brought up. Have them bring back the history between Kane and Daniel Bryan. At least bring it up. And just, if Brie Bella was a better actress, I would have think this feud would have no real problems other than just. Actually, no. I think it would have been a good feud if Brie Bella was just a better actress and Stephanie was just really kind of. I wish it would just be more simple. Because she's trying to be that borderline face-heel thing of what she's like, I'm not sending Kane after you. Bull crap.
I think that's
that is a load of pumpernickel.
Yeah, that is a load of pumpernickel, which is why I really enjoy the role that Stephanie is in right now. She's just sort of, hiding BS behind a smile. And for her, that works. And again, I think you really hit the nail on the head unintentionally here. Really, the only seriously weak point of this feud, other than it being a rehash of things we've seen in the past, is just Brie Bella being cringeworthy. Again,
her screams are just not convincing. It hurts.
Again, Daniel Bryan. Daniel Bryan. I'm sure your wife is an absolute sweetheart. I'm sure she makes a great wife, and she's wonderful. But in the role she's in right now, I'm sorry, man. She's just not that great. But that being said,
going somewhere, Stephanie.
Yeah, going somewhere. Feud.
Let's not go back there.
Yeah. Other than that,
was good only once.
Yeah.
The only real way to have Stephanie be like that would actually make Stephanie better for me is if Kane actually does reveal he isn't working with Stephanie. He is on his own, the unstoppable force by him like tombstoning her or something. And they're planning on having a buried alive match between Daniel Bryan and Kane for Payback, the pay-per-view coming up.
That could be fun.
And have it be the unstoppable monster Kane versus the underdog champion Daniel Bryan. It could work. Just whoever's in it hurts the feud. Sorry, Brie, you just hurt the feud.
Let's just move on with the feud. It's all good things in the future. Just move on with the feud, please.
What did I give? Oh yeah, I give this match a full beard. I don't think I gave it a rating. I gave it a full beard because it was a fun match.
Yes, it was. This match was good, as it was.
And now let's get into what we all thought was going to be the main event. In a way, what kind of should have been the main event. I mean, it's understandable they want the championship match to be last, but this one was it was built great because it's old versus new. It's top heels, the top heels versus an up and coming babyface group. Evolution versus the Shield 6-man tag. Was it Extreme Rules, or was it just did it just go crazy because
I'm pretty sure it was. I can't tell.
It doesn't matter. It went crazy anyway.
It was a 6-man
brawl.
It was a 6-man match that went out of control.
Yeah, he's not saying anything about Extreme Rules match.
And not even just the match went out of control. The audience went out of control because this was an awesome match. Everything was so good. Oh, these guys know how to work with each other. It was just great storytelling from every one of them. I guess it's just me how they book their new top faces on all that. I love Roman Reigns, and he's packed as a beast. I guess they just packing him on the beat like the superhero face thing a little too much, where it kind of hurts Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose in the end. I mean,
that match did not hurt those two at all. Seth Rollins.
oh, I'm not saying it hurt the match.
Well, Seth Rollins is Roman Reigns. Okay, is always gonna be the big. Stop with the funny looks.
I'm making what?
Roman
I'm not
Reigns
making
is
funny faces.
Yeah, sure you're
Roman
not.
Reigns. Roman Reigns will always.
That's it. Go to the corner.
But I'm
Go to the
doing
corner.
anything.
Go to the corner right now. You were saying, Brian?
Roman Reigns, okay, whether we like it or not, is going to be the breakout star.
Oh, well, I'm
Of
not
the
having
Shield.
any complaints with that. I just
Okay, but the way that they're handling Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose, I don't think they're going to be far behind. Because, talk to me 2 months ago, and I would have been on your bandwagon. Because Roman Reigns was getting everything. Come back.
No, he'll come back when I say he comes back. Continue.
Roman Reigns.
Roman Reigns is one of those guys who benefits from being part of a team.
Sit down. Oh, you were saying?
No.
Roman Reigns, basically, okay, back 2 months ago, was Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose weren't anything on that team. It was all Roman Reigns doing everything. Now, I feel like it's more of a compliment. It's yes, Roman Reigns gets the pins and all that, but you still have Dean Ambrose doing his crazy stuff on the outside, running across 2 tables and taking down Triple H and Batista.
Okay, you can come back.
And
I gotta say something now. Not right now, this second, but finish your spiel. I'm sorry.
And Seth Rollins, my God, man,
He's
guy,
insane.
This guy, I saw him roaming around on that top on top of the entrance,
Yeah.
and I was like,
He's
got to jump. He's got to jump. And he jumped, and I was like, yes!
It's
So
too bad
it's-
that was on the other side of the arena where we were, so we didn't see anyone down there, but we saw Seth Rollins on the top, and he just disappeared into the crowd.
This was basically
He disappeared into Narnia.
It's like 1,000 fingers urging you to let go.
this was basically perfect. It worked to everyone's strengths. Okay, even Batista. Okay, that Superman punch, the way he sold it. Okay. He sold it like death. And good on you, Batista. You put Roman Reigns over. Good on you. You can go away now. On your time. I know you're not going away because you have it's I'm pretty sure that now he's going on break after Payback.
Yeah, that's what I've heard.
I'm pretty sure. But if he had left for a little bit after Extreme Rules, that would have been the perfect way to go out. I'm not gonna say that this was as good as the Wyatt family versus the Shield at Elimination Chamber.
No,
But this was still
No way.
this was goat face. This was match of the night. Obviously, everybody did their spots. Everybody was perfect in their role, and it gets a goat face from me. Match of the night.
Yeah, even though I agree with you that this certainly was the match of the night, and it's definitely had a lot to offer. I'm going to go with, for this one, a full beard. However, what validated this in my eyes was just looking at the bigger picture as far as what this means to everyone involved. This match was everyone putting in a really, really great effort. The Shield, of course, still on their hot streak. Mostly because I think that at this point WWE realizes that everyone in the Shield covers their weaknesses perfectly when they're a part of this. Roman Reigns, even though they might still want to push him as a future megastar, he's just not there yet, and everyone else in the Shield really still covers his weaknesses above all else the best out of all of them. Dean Ambrose especially and Seth Rollins, these guys are spectacular wrestlers in their own right, and they don't really need a lot of help from either of these two to be great. Again, like I yelled from across the room, really Roman Reigns needs the Shield more than the Shield needs Roman Reigns at this point. They can pretty much make these guys a revolving door of who looks the strongest as time goes on, which they have. But this is them at their best, and they had an incredible match with an absolutely incredible stable, which, to give these guys credit, Evolution did their jobs magnificently. This is also Shield Prime, I gotta say. Triple H did a great job. Randy Orton did a great job. Batista did a great job. He did exactly what he needed to do, and he did it very well. I'm actually kind of disappointed that he's going to be leaving us soon, but at least he didn't wear out his welcome, and we got a great match out of that, which leads me back to my final verdict for this match. 4 out of 5, full beard. Great match.
What was it that took the star away? I don't know if you said I missed it.
It's not that it necessarily lost a star. I just didn't get that much enjoyment out of it, even though it was a very, very good match. And I would agree that it was a match of the night. Just it being match of the night does not necessarily always, at least in my view, warrant the offering of a 5 out of 5 goat face. Like, maybe it's just my opinion, but I want my goat faces to mean something. As good as solid as this match was, it just was a little bit shy of that. It was great, but it just wasn't that great.
I'm gonna give it a go. I'm gonna give it a goat face too. Just it was not only because it was match of the night, because I completely agree with what you said. That even though it's match of the night, it's how much awesomeness can you put into the match?
A lot. They're saving it for something.
And I honestly don't believe that the match that they're obviously setting up for Payback. I don't believe that magic doesn't hit twice in the same spot. So I'm not a fan, particularly of this feud continuing. I think that what happened at Extreme Rules was like the perfect payoff. We could have moved on.
Well, from what it's looking like, and from what I've been hearing on wrestling websites, is that they've been planning. Well, this match is obviously continuing through to Payback after what happened on Raw with them triple power bombing Roman Reigns, taking out each member of the Shield during their match with the Wyatt family. And even Michael called them like, it had to take 6 guys to take down the Wyatts. Yeah, shush it. The Wyatts lost before in 3-man tag clean, so your opinion means Jack, Michael Cole.
But Michael Cole's opinion always means Jack.
And from back to what I was saying, what they were doing, their planning is to bring in a new member to Evolution, because one, Batista is going to be leaving, and two, it actually makes sense with the stable. I mean, Evolution originally was, as it means, the Evolution, old school Ric Flair, today Triple H, and the future Batista and Randy Orton. Now it's past Triple H, because even though Triple H is still wrestling phenomenally, he's been around for a really long time. He is the past. And Randy Orton he could still go a good few more years. He is the present. And even Batista, even when he comes back, he's the present. But since he's leaving, they need someone to fill in those voids. They're hinting at adding another member to Evolution. And one big name that everyone has been talking about is Sheamus.
That I can see, and again, given the events of what we saw on Raw with, of course, my boy Dean Ambrose losing the U.S. title, sad face. Apparently, from what the dirt sheets have been saying, the bro kick to Dean Ambrose and his victory in the Battle Royal was actually supposed to be a heel turn, but no one recognized it because it was very shoddily done. It wasn't made obvious that it was supposed to be a bad guy now. And given Sheamus' status as a Triple H guy, quote-unquote, I would not be shocked if that's the direction they end up taking, if they actually do end up adding someone else to Evolution. If they want to make him a heel, this would probably be the best way to do it right now. Still not sure if they're going to add someone to Evolution at this point, but Evolution Sheamus is definitely an intriguing idea for me.
It is an intriguing idea. I just see one real flaw of it. if they're booking to have Sheamus be the future part of it, he's already established himself. When Batista and Orton joined the group, they weren't anything really yet. They had a few matches every now and then, but they weren't anything special. Sheamus, on the other hand, he's a former WWE champion. He's a former World Heavyweight champion. He's a former King of the Ring. He's a former Royal Rumble winner. He's already established. As much, like, he can actually, I could see him fitting into the group, but, like, looks-wise. But when it comes to, like, reasons, like, to be put in the group, to be the today, the past, present, and future, I just don't really want it. I don't really see it, but I wouldn't be against it. I would want it to be someone. I'm gonna repeat what I said. I want it to be someone who's been on the roster, who actually would character-wise fit in that group and evolve his character to that group standards, and he can actually fit looking-wise. He can look good in a suit. Is like someone like Damian Sandow, someone who.
This dream is still alive.
This dream is still alive because, in ways, it would make sense with his character, but they're probably not going to go with that because
it's too soon after his losing streak and Magneto.
Like if he,
they're not going to go from Magneto to suddenly being a member.
Like
of
if they like all of a sudden pull out this thing where he's starting to be more aggressive in his match and start showing like he has this monster inside of him that's finally letting out, where he's not. If he's losing, it's something like to a Cesaro effect where he won't stop. He has this fire inside, and then Triple H comes in. I can control that fire and make you a star.
Okay, now, as you were going down that road, I started thinking about... basically, what you just said is two different approaches to what they can use in another Evolution member. With Sheamus, yes, he is more of an established name than Batista and Randy Orton were at that time, but... he could represent the future portion of Evolution as far as chronologically speaking.
I could see him...
He's still a relatively young guy. He's still got a whole lot of years ahead of him, and maybe they can spin that as, oh yeah, I've seen a lot of potential in you. You've accomplished so much already. Yeah, you're an Evolution guy, blah, 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 Celtic Warrior. They can spin it that way. As far as if they were going to induct someone like Damian Sandow, it's like, you know what? You're good, but you're on a losing streak. We can make you better. We see the potential in you. How about you join the fast track to success? Welcome to Evolution, Damian Sandow, and they can spin that way. Either way, both these guys are still relatively young, and they can represent the future, both in their own unique way, but they also have the same element of they're still relatively young, and they have a lot of time and years ahead of them to establish themselves as the future of the business. And they can just spin it that way if they do actually want to recruit new blood into Evolution, which right now I'm sort of on the fence about. I'm not quite sure if they're going to do it.
I just don't like the idea of Sheamus being in a group. I like the idea of Sheamus turning heel, yes, but I want him to go back to the way he was when he first came in. Just coming in, just doing whatever, just fighting, and just basically doing what he's doing now, except without the corny jokes and the going after the good guys. I'd rather not have him involved in a group that is like all high and mighty and we are the best or whatever, because I feel like Sheamus would be the one to like go against the grain of that and just be like, oh, you're talking above me? All right, here's a bro kick. I just feel like I want him to be the better version of Finlay. Just like the Irish guy who likes to fight. And he's instead of being in a group like Evolution, just going out. I want to see Sheamus as a tweener.
I want to see that too.
Just running around, anybody who pisses him off just gets a pro kick to the face. It gets beat.
I just want to see Sheamus given something to do. I like Sheamus. Give him something to do.
Am I the only one that actually got angry that Sheamus was given the United States title? Not just because Dean Ambrose lost, just because I think Sheamus should be in a better spot than the United States Championship.
If they use it as a way to like get the United States title, like
defenses every week and just Sheamus comes out and just beats the crap out of people, like I just stated, I'm fine with it. I'm fine with it, and then when someone actually bests him, then he can move on and do that kind of thing.
Like
I think in that group of people, Sheamus was the right choice.
Yeah, I definitely see where you're coming from, Fool.
In that group of 20, I believe that Sheamus was the correct choice.
But I think I also understand why you feel that way, and mostly because the booking of the U.S. Championship, as much as I love Dean Ambrose, and I do, this
is the third-tier title.
Yeah, not that just that's the third-tier title, but the reason it's the third-tier title is that that's just the entire booking system that's been surrounding U.S. title for so long has been very, very poor. So the fact where it almost looks like an anchor to whoever it's attached to, and hopefully Sheamus can turn that around. I like Sheamus enough that I have enough confidence that he can, but until he shows me something, Sheamus, it's going to be an uphill battle for him.
And I can also honestly see that like they do the same thing as Ambrose did, as they did with Ambrose. Yeah, Dean Ambrose is the United States champion, but he's also not defending it at all, and in other feuds.
The U.S. title has basically become the Ron Popeil invention of title belts. Just set it and forget it.
It's a prop.
The one thing I always felt about the United States title is it's like in the same stature of what the European title was back in the Attitude Era. That was the title that the lower card people went. The people like Santino Marella, Fandango, Zack Ryder, those types, the comedy people, they go after that. And it's the champion of the lower card that is ready to evolve to the mid card, which is what they can go for the Intercontinental title that develops them, makes them helps them make them future stars, future world champions, gets their names out there. And I feel like Sheamus is in that category. He's in between Intercontinental and and WWE World Heavyweight because, like we said, he's been Royal Rumble winner, World Heavyweight champion, so on and so forth. He's in that category where he's supposed to be in holding the better title. And this is, if they do go over, he's just holding it as the champion, rarely having title defenses, then it would make sense. But just how I look at it, I have really negative views on the United States championship, the championship itself.
You're not alone.
And I just feel like Sheamus is kind of too good for that title.
I think that's kind of the point that they're going with. I think by now Sheamus is such an established, trusted name. Think of him however you will at this point. But if there's going to be someone who can actually might be able to lend some credibility back and give some competition back to the U.S. title picture, which is before, unfortunately, I hate to say it, during the Dean Ambrose reign, it's just sort of, come whoever may. If there's someone who's going to really step up the level of competition as far as the U.S. title is concerned, I'm fairly confident that for right now, Sheamus is a pretty decent guy to throw in that role. It'll be okay.
Okay, I would be all for it if they decide to have Wade Barrett versus Sheamus ended up to unify the titles, and then have the lower card guys just be like throw in the few tag teams. So you can have the tag team championships. Because really, I've said this before, on or off show, how many tag teams do we have in the WWE right now? Not stables. I don't count stables. But unless they are tag teams in a stable, like Rowan and Harper.
Family.
Like Rowan and Harper.
You've got the Wyatt family. You've got the Usos.
Rybacksel.
Rybacksel.
I don't count the Shield because they're three separate guys.
Well, then you can't count the Freebirds.
Harper and Rowan, they can be a tag team. Okay, take out the stables, take out the Wyatt family, take out the Shield. Usos, Rybacksel, Los Matadores.
And you kind of still have Dashingly Gold.
Yeah,
Dashingly Gold, but they're on the verge of breaking up. So they're like half. And Xavier Woods and R-Truth.
Yeah, it's nice to see the Usos as tag team champions, but the tag team titles.
But the tag team,
they don't have anyone to wrestle.
Yeah, they don't have any real legit tag teams. Bring Justin Gabriel back and throw him in a tag team with someone.
Justin Gabriel and Tyson Kidd, bring that back.
Justin Gabriel and Adam Rose. connect those two somehow. Make him part of his party posse or whatever.
Well, they did that with Ziggler, so we might have a tag team there.
There you go. There you go.
Adam Rose and Dolph Ziggler. Oh God.
Hell,
I can see that being fun, actually.
I'd rather put Dolph Ziggler like in the Intercontinental title picture than
but
throw him in a tag team.
The WWE hates him because he can't keep his mouth shut. So that's
That's
why he's
true.
where he's at right now.
That's
Only
true.
time will tell.
And okay, let's go back to let's give one big final rating to the pay-per-view as a whole. Jeff, you're the one who wasn't at the pay-per-view, so you can go first.
Okay,
no offense.
It's okay, none taken. Really, this pay-per-view as a whole was much better than I expected it to be. I got to give this no lower than a 3.5, maybe even a 4. So, for the sake of completion, I'm just going to round up and say 4 out of 5, full beard. Very, very solid, fun pay-per-view for what we got.
Brian?
Well,
This
the
is your- this was-
experience itself.
It's like, this is your very first pay-per-view.
Yes,
The experience there. Okay, watching it the first time was it 5 out of 5.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, was a goat face. But then I came home, I watched it on pay-per-view to see what the common people were
what the little people thought of the
what the little people saw. And
Smooth.
yeah, it was decent, but it wasn't anything like completely special. There were moments. Okay, I'm gonna give it a goatee.
Goatee 3.
I'm gonna give it a goatee because the lower card was really nothing special. You had all the Extreme Rules matches except for the cage match, which was the disappointment of the evening, if you will.
If you will.
And
Wait, what was the disappointment of the evening?
the cage match?
Oh, okay.
And it's the best I can go with watching it not being there is it was decent, nothing completely special. Yeah, I love the flaming tables. I love the backstage stuff. I love the 6-man tag, but it wasn't enough to get it to a outstanding pay-per-view score. Decent goatee.
All right. Well, I've been to several shows already, so that fanboy thing has already gone. So, like, I didn't watch the show. Almost dropped the mic there. I didn't watch the show with on TV. It's all memory from what I remember being there. And yeah, well, the one positive thing that definitely hurts the pay-per-view watching it on TV is having to listen to the commentary between Michael Cole, Jerry the King Lawler, and JBL.
That didn't really hurt all that much for me because I went in knowing the commentary was going to be god awful.
It's best to watch it on mute.
Yeah, I kept it on, but I was like, when you go in to watching the pay-per-view knowing that the commentary is going to be god awful, you can kind of block it out and review it that way. And nothing special.
Yeah, I do agree. It was a fun pay-per-view and it had great spots, but like storyline purposes, it just like was the middle marker of feuds. The middle marker of feuds. Bray Wyatt, John Cena. It was round 2. You know that round 3 is gonna be fantastic. It's they continuing Daniel Bryan and Kane. They're continuing Wyatt's not Wyatt's the Shield versus Evolution. Thank you. I don't know why this was, to me, it looks like Payback is going to be what Extreme Rules normally is. It's the pay-per-view after WrestleMania where it's just all the rematches, and in this case there was only one real rematch from WrestleMania, and that was Bray Wyatt versus John Cena. Everything else was like fresh new matches. And now it looks like Payback is going to be the rematch pay-per-view.
Yeah, we'll cross that bridge when we come to it.
Yeah,
that could be anything at this point.
Pretty much. But back to Extreme Rules, yeah, it was just okay. Nothing spectacular came out of it. Great spots. Evolution and Shield was awesome. Bray Wyatt and John Cena was just nice turn, disappointing. The WLC match was just awesome. It was Evolution, Shield, WLC, the Intercontinental title match. Those were my top 3 matches. And all the other the lower card was just nothing special. So I'm just gonna have to give this one a classic goatee 3 out of 5.
Wow, I wasn't even there, and I ranked it higher than you guys. That's a little surprising.
Like what Brian said, the experience being there is a goat face.
Right. That makes more.
Because just interacting with a bunch of random strangers of what's going on in the ring is just a load of fun.
Yeah, and plus, I saw that video you took full of you were just hanging out back in the regular area, and all of a sudden the Shield just walked right by you guys.
I wasn't just back there. They were doing the promo for Evolution and Shield, and I knew they were coming down the ramp on the right of me. So I'm just like, I better take this opportunity while they're doing the promo to run up the stairs, go back there, and see them walk by. And I'm gonna post that video on our Facebook page, and just like the
Look
pictures
us up on Facebook, Scholars of Wrestling Show. Thank you very much.
Cheap plug.
Cheap plug.
So on that note, let's go to the plugs.
Let's go. You know what? Yeah, simple as that. It was the experience of it. 5 star, goat face, 5 stars. But just the event itself and just where they are storyline wise, and just how certain matches went. It was just a classic goatee. That's it. And that's like what Brian said. Let's transition into the cheap plugs.
Cheap plugs. Well, of course, I already plugged our main page on Facebook these days. Also, you can subscribe to us on YouTube. It's just the Scholars of Wrestling Show. And, of course, you can follow us on Twitter at ScholarsOW. But, also, if you want to play the Fantasy Wrestling League, the Scholars of Wrestling Fantasy Wrestling League, who's the winner of this...
3 months in a row, baby!
Yeah.
Get on my level.
I'm on your level, dude.
If you want to,
no, you only beat me once. You ain't got crap.
Difference of 1 point this month. Your streak might be coming to an end. And if you would like to end the former Master of Douchery streak, you can join us by logging on to www.4down.org and signing up for free to compete with thousands of other wrestling fans across the world in the Fantasy Wrestling League. And you can join us for fantasy wrestling predictions and wrestle fun and things. And follow the links and join us for fun.
And we want to thank you all for listening in on our rants and complaints and
our
fun
11
points.
million hour show.
It's 11 million hours. I wish it was that long. We are the Scholars of Wrestling, and you have just been schooled. You're welcome. Good night, everyone. Enjoy the weekend. See you next weekend. Well, not me.